Your hunt isn't over when the deer hits the ground. The clock just started. What you do in the next 30 minutes decides whether that animal becomes a freezer full of clean meat or a sour, wasted mess. Field dressing a deer, gutting it, is the most important skill between the shot and the table, and almost nobody teaches it right. So today I'm walking you through it step by step, the exact same way it's done on every horned and antlered animal, from a little desert whitetail to a big northern buck. Learn these fundamentals clean and you can break every rule later to save time. And there's one slip in the middle of this that taints the whole body cavity in a heartbeat. I'll show you exactly where it happens. First, set yourself up. Roll the deer onto its back, belly up, and if you can, get the head slightly uphill so gravity works with you instead of against you. You want a sharp knife, and if you've got one, a small bone saw. A dull knife is how people slip and cut the wrong thing, including themselves. A pair of shoulder-length gloves keeps things clean if you have them, but bare hands and a good knife have gotten the job done for 100 years. And work fast. The sooner you open the animal after the shot, the better, because a deer starts to bloat, and once it bloats, everything inside gets tight and slick and far harder to do without nicking something you don't want to nick. Step 1. Start at the back end and cut a ring around the anus. Go all the way around and cut deeper than you think, a few inches in. What you're doing is freeing up the colon so the whole lower plumbing pulls out later in one clean piece instead of tearing and spilling. Take your time here. A clean start is what makes the whole job clean. Step 2, and this one is the law, not just good practice. Most states require you to leave evidence of sex naturally attached to the carcass. So on a buck, you run your knife up alongside the scrotum and you leave it attached. Do not cut it off while you gut. Same idea on a doe with the udder. Check your state's regulations, but when in doubt, leave that evidence on. A tagged animal with the sex removed can cost you your license. Step 3. Now free up the urethra and expose the pelvis. Cut down along each side right down to the bone, and you'll uncover the pelvic ridge with the bone sitting on either side. When you open this up, you're going to spill a little urine. That's normal. Just peel it back and sever it up high away from the meat. Now the anus, the lower intestine, and all that back plumbing is freed up and hanging loose, ready to come out the back door once you make your gateway. Step 4 is where most beginners make their first real mistake, so watch closely. You're going to open the hide from the pelvis all the way up to the sternum, the breastbone. But here's the rule that separates a clean job from a hairy, gritty mess. Always cut from the inside out. Slide 2 fingers under the hide, rest your blade between them with the edge facing up, and push the knife up and out through the skin. Never saw down into the hair. If you cut down, you chop thousands of tiny hairs into little pieces, and they get all over the meat in every fold, impossible to pick out. Go inside out, blade up, and it slips right between the hairs without cutting them. Clean every time. Now up near the chest, you'll feel a hard breastbone under your fingers, the sternum. As long as you're over that bone, you're protected. The stomach can't reach your knife there, so you don't need to be gentle, just run it right up the hide. Step 5. This is the slip I warned you about. At the bottom end of the sternum, that bone stops, and from there down it's nothing but a thin wall of muscle, the abdominal lining, with the stomach and intestines pressed right up against the other side. If you jam your knife straight in here, you puncture the stomach or the guts, and you flood the whole cavity with green stomach soup and waste. So do it careful. Pinch that muscle wall and lift it away from the organs. Make a small, controlled puncture right at the tip of the sternum, just enough to get through the wall. Then slide 2 fingers inside, palm up, so your fingers ride between the abdominal lining and the guts. Rest your blade between your fingers and let your knuckles push the intestines down and away while the blade opens the lining from the inside. Run it all the way down to the pelvis. Your fingers are the guard rail. As long as the guts are below your knuckles, the knife can't reach them. That right there is the whole secret to a clean gut job. Step 6. Take your bone saw and split the pelvis. Press the bladder and everything soft up out of the way first so you don't nick it, then saw down through the pelvic bone. You can get away with one cut down the middle, but if you saw both sides and lift that center wedge of bone right out, you open a wide, clean gateway that everything pulls through easily. And there's a bonus. That thick meat around the hams and ball joints is the first part of a deer to spoil in warm weather. Opening the pelvis lets all that trapped heat escape so your meat cools faster and keeps longer. Step 7. Now split the sternum straight up the center of the chest. Up here you're clear of the stomach and intestines, so you don't have to baby it, just open the rib cage up. Reach up inside and there's your heart sitting in its own sack. Nick that sack, free the heart, and set it somewhere clean because heart is some of the best eating on the animal. Right above it you'll feel the windpipe and the esophagus coming down. Reach in as far as you can, cut them, and that frees the top end of everything. Step 8. The only thing still holding the guts in now is the diaphragm, that sheet of muscle that walls off the chest from the belly. It won't tear on its own, so run your knife along each side and cut it free where it attaches to the ribs. Once the diaphragm is cut, the whole package is loose. Everything is just laying there in the cavity like a bowl. Step 9. The payoff. Reach up to the windpipe, grab it, and pull down and back. The entire gut package, stomach, intestines, everything rolls down and spills right out through that pelvic gateway you made. Before it hits the dirt, reach back in and save what's worth saving. Free the liver and the kidneys, they're better than people think. Set them with the heart somewhere clean, and while you're in there, run your fingers up along the spine inside the cavity and peel out the 2 tenderloins, the best cut on the whole deer. They dry out and get gritty if you leave them in the field, so pull them now. And that's a field-dressed deer, clean, open, and already starting to cool. Roll it belly down over a log or brush for a few minutes to drain, and it's ready to drag or pack out. Do this right, and you've protected every ounce of meat you worked all season to earn. Do it wrong, rush it, cut down into the hair, puncture the stomach, and you'll taste that mistake at every meal. So take the extra 10 minutes and do it clean. Now, getting the deer gutted is only half the battle. What you do next, how you drag it, cool it, and get it skinned before the meat sours is where a lot of good deer still get ruined. So go watch my next video on cooling and skinning your deer the right way. That's where clean meat is won or lost. I'll see you in that one.